Welcome to another edition of One-on-One Boxing. Once again, for the second time, I'm here with the lovely Lauren Parker, talking about Ebanie Bridges, talking about the experiences, going to obviously Leeds to watch the fight, to watch Josh Warrington. Must have been a wonderful night for you.
Incredible. It's one of those things, you know, throughout all my career and that, I've kind of sort of sat in the background, if you like, you know, working my craft, building myself up. And then along your journey, you come across different types of people, and obviously I've come across Ebanie Bridges, and you know I regard her actually now, after helping her with her sparring, meeting up with her, and you know meeting up, going for dinner and that sort of thing, as a friend now. So yeah, she gave me the opportunity and said, like, why don't you come along to one of my press conferences, and I'll get you front row seats at the show as well, obviously as a thank you for everything that I've helped with too. And yeah, it was just a crazy experience, and I'd never been to a big show like that, arena show. I've done sort of like York Hall, but it's not like big, is it? It's famous, but not massive. And yeah, I just soaked it up, absolutely loved the show, loved watching Ebanie, supporting her, and obviously she got the win as well, which she rightfully deserved too. And yeah, a weekend with the presser and the fight that I personally will never forget, and one that I'm extremely grateful for.
It looked like a great night.
Yep.
Obviously, you were both looking the part, you know, obviously at the press conference.
Yep.
You know, so you got to see that as well, the hype, the buzz behind that fight. You know, obviously, Ebanie's had to do it the hard way. She had a lot of injuries along the way. She's a very well-spoken woman. She's a businesswoman. She's got all the attributes to be an absolute world star of women's boxing.
Yep.
And I'm very, very privileged to be talking to someone who's spent that amount of time with her.
Yeah.
You know, you probably sparred with 45 to 50 rounds.
Well, I don't know, maybe more than that, because we did I think we did 6 to 7 weeks, and we were doing like 10 rounders every time. But yeah, she's an out-and-out professional, and in anything she sort of puts her mind to. She's just commentated actually on the recent DAZN show with Conor Benn. And yeah, fantastic feedback, you know, so whether it's with the boxing or whether it's her bodybuilding or whether it's, you know, commentating now, she always comes across as a true professional. Do you know what I mean? It's
got to put you in the frame.
Yeah.
You've been doing all this work with Ebanie, also Mrs. Chapman.
Yes.
You know, so like obviously she's moving on to big things at the moment.
Yep.
You want to move on to big things. You've got your fight coming up on the 29th of April. Don't forget that. That's at the Doubletree, Sheffield, on the 29th of April. You've got this lady here, Lauren Parker, fighting a woman called Agustina Marisa Belén Rojas from Argentina. So anyway, I got it right. Lots of names. You'll probably find with Argentinians, they've all got long names. We've also got a long history with Argentina, as you already know.
That is true.
So she's not coming here for the fun of it. She's coming here to try and hurt you, to try and get you out there and to prove a point. But Argentina can beat the Brits.
Exactly. I think, yeah, she's definitely going to be bringing the heat. She's undefeated, 5-0, but that's what I want. You know, I want those type of challenges now in my career. I want to push on for big things. I want to push on for titles, and you're not going to get that by fighting walkover opponents, are you? So as we're growing, the opponent and the opposition is going to get better, and yeah, that's what I'm all about, really.
A boxing career is short.
It is, yes.
You know, people forget that.
Yes.
I mean, you're either George Foreman, or you're one of these guys who gets blasted out in your first 3 fights, and that's the end of your career. You are on the right path. You're on a really, really good winning streak. Your last fight against Ivanka Ivanova ended the way you wanted it to end, which was her on the floor and the referee saying, right, enough's enough. So hopefully we're expecting a little bit of same from the next fight. I mean, I've seen a bit of footage, and we always turn around and say, oh, there's nothing to worry about, but you don't know what they're doing in the background, so you have to have that mindset of obviously don't take anyone lightly. So what's your mindset?
Yeah, I never underestimate anyone, you know. It's easy to look at someone and go, I'll be all right, but it's until you get in there, you feel the power of the punches, you know, the head guards are off, that sort of thing, the pressure of the audience, that sort of thing. And but you know what, I'm very confident in my own ability. I train extremely hard with both my coaches, Paul Day and Paul Webber. I think I've turned a leaf, to be honest, in my own like self-confidence, in my training, my strength. I'm sparring very, very regularly with very, very good people, the likes of, you know, Ebanie, as we've spoken about, Raven Chapman, a very good former GB girl, as well as Nina Hughes, another very, very good amateur who's now pro. She just recently stopped Bet Connolly. So, you know, I'm mixing with very, very good names, and that only gives me confidence. So I'm kind of feeding off that at the minute, you know, that I can get in there and I can go these rounds with these girls and come out satisfied with my performance. So yeah, I'm confident in my ability, but definitely never, ever, ever underestimate anyone. But I've got one thing to do, and that's to go out, and I don't see it any other way than a win. So, yeah.
Well, that's it. I mean, it's the same for. I mean, women's boxing in this country is starting to get the recognition it deserves. We've got Harper. Mm-hmm. You know, we've got like girls coming over from the States. You know, like Alicia Baumgardner. Yeah. You know, we've got girls coming over from Argentina. You know, we've got girls coming over from Bulgaria. Your last victim. Yep. You know, so like this is not just something in this country. It's a worldwide thing, and there's a lot of good boxers coming through. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I'm very impressed in Katie Taylor. Mm-hmm. You know, like her career, the way she's handled all the hype. Yep. Also, Raven Chapman. Just watching one of her interviews. And you know, her explaining all these new pressures what she's got on top of just throwing the punches and doing. She's
now with Frank Warren as well, isn't she? She's
under Frank Warren. So many interviews, so many people want to talk to you. Mm-hmm. You are kind of on that thing now where it's kind of happening already. I mean, seeing you with Carl Frampton, who's one of my favourite boxers, another bantamweight, obviously a two-weight world champion, has had a great career. Shame it ended. Really, I wanted to see more from him.
But you always do, don't you? But sometimes you just have to.
I think the stress of his court case maybe trying to get the money what he deserved, and obviously we talked about politics in boxing, that kind of got in the way. Let's move away from that. Let's talk about your mum, your dad. You know, what part they play in your progression through the boxing ranks? Yeah,
so they both play a massive role. Very, very supportive family, very, very close to my family as well, my brother and stuff, and we're all a tight unit. Mum's always there, live with my mum and my stepdad, Sean. And I'd say they're always there sort of. When I'm at home, I come home from boxing, they're always there, the support, if I have a good spar, bad spar, whatever training session, and they're always there to pick me up if ever I'm down, which actually isn't that often these days. It used to be, but not so much anymore. And my dad, I'd say, like, at the beginning of my career when I first started, it kind of used to, I don't know, maybe he'd get nervous or worry about me getting in there. But I think now, like what with the lockdown period and stuff, I spent a lot of time with him, gelling with my dad a little bit more, and he then started taking me to like all of my training sessions or my sparring, because that's obviously important. If you're getting in there taking shots, you don't really want to be driving home. So he's been great with that side of things and helping me, and he's literally there all the time.
You know what they call that, don't you? Dad cabs.
Dad cabs. Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I hear it
all the time in my job. I've got to take him football, I've got to take her ballerina, all the rest of it. So it's no different. I mean, regardless of what age you are. I mean, I've met your dad while you was doing your weights. Obviously, Paul Webber giving you the dress down and
torture chamber.
Torture chamber. But you got through that session that day. That's when we done our first interview. Now, obviously, your dad takes you around. When I was up watching William in his last fight up York Hall, your stepdad and your mum was there, and I was happy enough to get to meet them, lucky enough to get to meet them, should I say. And it's good, but you've got a stepdad and a dad both supporting you, do you know?
And what's good as well is like we all get on. Like, it's crazy. Some people are like, how are you getting on? But we all just gel, and it's great. And everyone, like, we all meet up together, we'll go to the fights together, and there's literally no issues. And I think that's so healthy, because there's so many people that don't have that. And I feel very, very lucky to be able to have it. But they're also supportive. Like, my mum is great. Like, with this upcoming fight, she's just taken charge and sorting all the tickets out, that sort of thing. I'm not having to stress with any financial stuff or arrangements with everyone, because sometimes everyone's texting you like, can I have this amount of tickets? Oh, I'm not coming now. Or can I have this as a food option on the night? And I'm like, oh, it's too much. So she sort of took those pressures off of me, which is, to be honest, has been great. Literally can just focus on my fighting and my training and that sort of thing. And you don't sometimes realise how much those little added stresses put pressure on you. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So she's eliminated that for me this time. So I'm very grateful.
You talk about, obviously you're going to be at the Doubletree in Sheffield, Hilton. I've actually stayed in one of those myself. up Tower Hill at Christmas. They're very nice hotels. They've got lovely conference rooms, and they're just the right size for what Goodwin Promotions and Unified are actually doing at the moment. You know, to try and start it small, get the camera angles right, get the interest from the right people, get the investment to push it forward that extra bit. You know, so we can get the likes of Lauren Parker, Lionheart Parker. Don't forget that. You know, at the top of your game, winning titles, getting domestic titles, then European, world. How does it go in women's boxing? Is there the domestic titles what we get in this country? Because, at the moment, the focus is on pretty much all, world title fights, with the likes of Terry Harper, and, obviously, you had Alicia Baumgardner come over here and stop her. But I've not really heard of any ladies boxers winning British titles, or.
Well, as far as I'm aware, I don't think we have a British title.
Why?
So I was always told years back, we're going to go for a British title, and then I found out that we don't actually do that. And you might be one to look up, but I'm pretty sure that is correct.
I find that strange. It's almost like you're going straight onto European world level. You know what I mean? Like it's like the big jump.
And I think that's probably because of the amount of women that there are. There's not that many, if you know what I mean. So if you're going for a British title, I think in my category there's only 5, and then I don't know if they all campaign at that super flyweight. They're under it, but they've all boxed heavier, so I don't exactly know where they sit.
I mean, you've got the ability to maybe move up to bantamweight if you have to.
Oh, without a doubt. Like I'm sitting here right now at bantamweight, technically. Obviously, if I was fighting a championship or a world title fight, then I'd be coming down to super fly, because
there isn't really any catch weight in between super flyweight and super bantamweight. There's no catch weight between those 3 weights.
Not really.
So basically, you can bounce up and down pretty quickly. I mean, that's why Cole Frampton was so successful in his career. Obviously, you keep yourself fit, you keep yourself active. And you've got this muddy mayhem going on. I've seen it in other, kind of like boroughs, towns, like Cambridgeshire. I've seen all these type of things.
Isn't it? I think that muddy mayhem's done like each year, once a year. It's done for our local hospice, the Garden House Hospice in Letchworth, which I've seen firsthand exactly the job that they do, sort of caring for patients at end of life, that sort of thing. And my granddad was in there, and I got to see exactly the jobs they do, and it's amazing. So, to be able to get involved in that sort of thing. This time round, obviously, I did the Muddy Mayhem, which was fun, just literally wading through swamps and that sort of thing, which was good. But I've equally done a lot of my own charity stuff, like my dad and my brother, and they've got like a little band going, the Soul Band, and I sort of get involved with that. And we do events where we'll get loads of people, like 250, 300 people in a hall, all raising money for the charity. And they need that, because they literally rely on just the funding from stuff like that.
To give people that dignity before they go,
Absolutely.
like I've been there myself, and like lost close people to me, and you can't do enough but want to raise money for these people and try and help out.
And it's so rewarding, you don't even have to do much, and you're massively helping something and someone. So if I can do more stuff like that, it's great. So I've done lots of different things. We had one of my personal training clients actually recently, she, I think it was last year, sadly passed away, and that was really quite shocking. And what we did was a charity boot camp. So I got like all of her family. In fact, I'm going to shout it out. It was Julie Cranston, who's sadly not here no more. But her husband Jim and her daughter Grace, we got involved with that, and we did a boot camp and got everyone involved. There must have been about 50 people, but they all sort of put their own donations in. So some people did like £50, £100, and in the end I think we raised close to, I think it was like £600-700, something like that, close to that. I can't remember the exact figure now, but
it's better than nothing. Some people like raise hundreds of thousands. But I mean,
and I did that in an hour. So I thought, if I can give back like that, it's just amazing. It's just a small thing that you can do.
Well, this is what pushes you forward, but you can do more of this in the future. Like obviously, boxing could be very lucrative once you get there and you've got people, eating out the palm of your hand. The money can be pretty good, and I'm sure, but you're going to want to do good things with that money, and maybe one day have a place like this yourself. It's a wonderful looking boxing club.
It's actually my life goal.
Hopefully, if you're into boxing, you've got kids who want to, learn to defend themselves, or just to come and get fit, come to Stevenage ABC. It's got plenty of space, and some lovely people down here like Lauren, and obviously Paul Day and Paul Webber. You'll meet William Webber and Che Dunning, so don't forget them guys. Anyway, let's talk about your fight coming up.
Yes.
So nothing less than a win for you, no matter which way it comes.
I literally don't think of anything else. Like, one thing I think is like, I love the word like manifestation, like manifest what you're going to do. And, you know, if you can change the way you think, the outcome will follow, you know, and I really do believe that. In my last fight, I spent the whole week, the lead up, literally imagining myself knocking this girl out. I'd never knocked anyone out before, but it was there. My thought process was there, and boom, we go out and we've done it.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think since that, and just that positive mindset is so powerful. So yeah, I don't see it going any other way. I have to get a win. I want to progress in this career. I believe in my ability. And yeah, for me, it's only a win. That's what I'm bringing back. It's
never the end of the world if you don't knock someone out. As long as you win that fight convincingly, I mean, that's the main thing.
You can't go looking for knockouts, can you? They've got to naturally come together.
They naturally come, you know. Exactly. Sometimes they come when you're on the back foot, you know. But the fact of the matter is, promoters, fans love knockouts. And when you've got that streak of knockouts, all of a sudden, you know, people start looking at you that bit more. So, like, you know, obviously, you know, you want to get the knockout. You don't obviously want to hurt the girl to the point where, like, you know, it affects her life.
And that's the thing, I'm like that, because I am naturally a nice person, and you do have to have that element of aggression when you get in there. But yeah, I'd never want to...
You just have to change as a person, don't you? I mean, you have to change when it's only the two of you in there, and that referee to separate you. And, you know, sometimes you just got to have that mindset, well, I want to get out. Look, if I have to do another 9 minutes, you know, in that 9 minutes, something could happen to me, so let's get it done early.
Exactly.
And have an early bath and a cup of tea, and then look forward to, you know, hopefully picking up a title one day. Anyway, going back to what we do in London, a popular a boxing club called Aberfeldy. Big shout going out to Kirk Whitelock. Got Lauren Parker here. We're both going to just hold the sleeve of this top. You know, so Lauren supports you in what you do against knife crime, and I'm very proud to bring this top down here to share this with her. So good luck with that. On that note, I'm going to wish you all the best luck with your fight.
Thank you so much.
Next Friday, the 29th of April, at the Doubletree, Sheffield. Don't forget it. It's going to be a great night of women's boxing, and you're going to see this girl win again.
Sporty Stuff TV, channel 437. Yeah, you should be able to catch it on there, or online on their website. I do believe they stream it as well. So yeah, get involved, guys. Don't miss it.
There you go, televised as well. So this girl's got a deal, and you're going to be seeing a lot more of her. Also, don't forget June the 11th, the rescheduled fight between William Webber and Chris Davis at the York Hall Bethnal Green. Anyway, thank you for coming once again.
Appreciate it.
And I wish you all the best for next Friday.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.